Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next webinar. Today, you get 2 crops for the price of 1. So all the attendees are pretty lucky because today we will talk about Echinacea purpurea as well as Digitalis. We will run a deep dive into the technology, what works well, and how to get the most out of our genetics. And as always, this webinar will be hosted by our flowers whisperer, the one who knows how to read and how to listen to plants, Mr. Ivan Posniakov. Enjoy.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for the short introduction, and I happy to see everyone who will join our webinar today. And let's start to talk about the technology. But before we start to talk about the technical tips and things, I would like to offer our an assortment of Echinacea. I will start with the Echinacea, and let's jump to our nice assortment. Today there are many slides with many nice pictures, and I try to jump a little bit faster than usually because we have today 2 crops. And let's start to talk about our Echinacea assortment. Echinacea purpurea. And one idea why I would like to join to this crop altogether, because both of them are perennials. The name is the same, purpurea and purpurea. That's just a joke. Sorry. And some kind of technical tips is a bit closer to each other. So that's why I would like to add 2 crops today in the webinar. And let's start to talk about the Echinacea assortment. There are 3 different series in our portfolio. All of them is really unique and divided into the series depends on the flower performance and depends on the habit. Prairie Blaze, let's start one by one. Prairie Blaze is a compact and nice crop with a different and unique flowers. It is a really specific, really interesting specific feature of this crop. And the flower color you can see in the bottom below this table, just a little bit hidden by the table. And here you can see one of the variety of Prairie Blaze. And the height of these plants is rather compact. As you know, the Echinacea is quite tall crop, is quite tall plant. It reach up sometime about 1 meter, but this series is genetically compact. So this is a special and unique feature of this crop. The second one, Prairie Splendor compact. We called it Prairie Splendor because formerly we had a no common Prairie Splendor series. And Prairie Splendor compact in comparison of traditional one, Prairie Splendor, is a compact crop as well. It also reach up to 40 centimeters only. And of course, with a PGR application, it can be shorter. Prairie Splendor. Prairie Splendor is a traditional, it made to say the natural Echinacea. It looks like if you're looking at this Echinacea, you're feeling like you are in a prairie. And it brings the hot colors and the hot mood into your landscape. And this is a really quite tall crop, but not as tall as a natural one, as a wild one. It's able to reach up only 65 centimeters, not normally not taller, but of course with the PGR applications it can be even shorter, and it can be grown as the plant as a half of meter plant. And let's go to the next slide, and there you can find where you can see the additional information about the portfolio. And the next slide, I would like to also share some kind of mood peaks, which create for the each series. And let's talk about the Prairie Blaze portfolio. This portfolio has already 4 different unique colors. It's really unique colors. And I made to say this series, it match the requirements of the even vegetative Echinacea, because there are many different kind of genetic available in the market of Echinacea, and one of them is a vegetative which produced in a tissue culture. And there are, of course, very wonderful and very gorgeous flowers and plants there in that assortment. But we have a Prairie Blaze This series is from seeds, and it is rich up the quality of the flowers like vegetative assortment has. And let's look at the different interesting colors like golden yellow and like orange. And you can see even the bicolor, you can find there even the bicolor plants. And let's talk about the Prairie Splendor. In Prairie Splendor, we have just only three separate colors, but these plants is also looks very attractive because of the long petals, long and a bit overlap petals. So the flowers looks like a wheels with a round shaped flat flowers. And of course, Prairie Splendor. Prairie Splendor has just only one color, but this one color is really interesting. It is really unique and really nice to create a big landscapes. And let's talk to that where you can find the information, additional information about our Echinacea portfolio. Of course, there is a special page in the our catalog, in the our common seeds catalog. In the perennial department, you can find the explanation about all three series. And if you try to use this link in the page 182, you can find any kind of insights about the Prairie Blaze assortment. And of not only there, you can find information in the landscaping book, in the perennial site. In the page 26, you can find additional information about the Prairie Blaze, because Prairie Blaze we consider as a good landscaping crop, a very prospective landscaping crop. And I really advise to use this crop to create the nice mixes in the landscape, the nice mixed borders. It is really unique crop for that. And let's start to talk about already the technical things. Too many slides here. And of course, this crop is this is also kind of technical things. This is an application that it's also part of the technical points. And this crop is very interesting crop because you're able to apply in the different, so with the same assortment, you can get very different product. One, and I may to say the common application of this crop is a potio pots. In the potio pots, this plant looks really nice, especially in the big one, like 35, 40 centimeters and even larger. And you can create a very nice, solid decoration for your garden, for your own garden. And this crop also able to be applied in the mixes, as because this crop is quite compact, you can create mix with the other perennials, with the grasses, with the ornamental other plants with ornamental leaves. And of course, not forget about the one interesting specific of this crop. It's a really nice crop for the landscaping. So you can, and especially it is really nice for the hot climate condition, for the dry and hot condition. And let's start to talk about the other technical crops, which is maybe more interesting than the application of this crop. And let's start with the 5 success element of the Echinacea. One, during the sowing period, it really recommended to apply 2 or 4 seeds per one cell. Avoid the saturation level because Echinacea doesn't like too much water during the germination stage. Think on branching. This is really unique requirements of Echinacea because Echinacea needs to develop nice plant shape in the seedling stage before it start to form the flower stalks. And this is really critical if you would like to create plant with a nice shape, like you can see in the right picture, with a lot of leaves, because Echinacea has one specific feature. It's able to produce very fast flower stalks. It's really similar to the ranunculus, because ranunculus also able to produce in a long day condition flower stalks quite fast without creating a lot of leaves and without creating the nice shape of the plant. So to create a nice shape of the plant, you need to think about conditions to get a nice branching and to get enough leaf quantity. Next one is the grown plant. And of course, we need to keep in mind any kind of features which is concerning to this plant habit. What's mean crown plants? I will explain it later. And of course, a powdery mildew. Anyway, I will take a few minutes for the plant protection, and we will talk about the powdery mildew in the details. And let's start with the germination stage. Yes, of course, please don't forget to visit our YouTube channel where you can find many interesting webinars, and not only webinars. You can find a mood video from the our customer sites, from the different events, and please enjoy a nice video. And of course, please find our webinar recordings there. There are already more than 20 different webinars which is dedicated to the specific crops. And let's start to talk about the germination stage. What kind of condition Echinacea required to germinate well? One, it's a tray size. Trays should be quite small. The small size is enough. I mean, the small cell size is enough. 288 or 264 cells is applicable for the Echinacea. And one specific requirement: if you would like to create more branchy plants and more bushy plants, more bushy yarn plants, we really recommend to apply 2-4 seeds per 1 cells. Not only to create, it is necessary not only to create nice bushy plants, it's also connected to the germination, right? Later on, I will take the few seconds about that. And do we need to color the Echinacea? In general, yes. Because it doesn't require any kind of light for the germination. It's very convenient crop. We can also germinate it in the germination chamber. So germination chamber is optional thing for the Echinacea. And of course, it is possible to use 1 seeds per cell, or to sow it in the tray in the common tray or in the pot without cells, which is not divided on cells. But to get a nice plant, of course, the tray or a cell with only one plant needs to be developed a bit longer. So keep it in mind. And what kind of substrate? Honestly, Echinacea accept any type of substrate except of decomposed plant residuals, because Echinacea a little bit sensitive to the fungal disease which can affect the root health of the Echinacea. So that's why I try to avoid to use any kind of decomposed material, like not good decomposed cow dung, or not good decomposed plant residuals that using to create a compost. And any kind of substrate type is okay, and please use the fine substrate particles, like from 0 to 10 millimeters till 1 centimeters or less, as because Echinacea needs to be in the good contact with a substrate. And of course, don't forget about the inert agent to create more aerated conditions for the root, because Echinacea is a daughter of prairies, and it requires quite good and quite structured soils. And it is possible to use, of course, natural derived soils, but I really advise to use this kind of substrate in a mix, as a mix together with a coco peat, or with a peat, or with a wood fiber peat. And as I said it formerly, and as it indicated in the notes from the right side, please use the level of the substrate moisture 4, not apply most a totally saturated substrate. And another advice: I really recommend to use a mixture of the substrate. If you apply the only coco peat or only peat, it can affect on the crop uh, on a crop condition in general, because the peat is quite expensive. Coco peat sometimes has a quite high concentration of the sodium or quite high pH. A wood fiber substrate has a quite long particles, and so to avoid any kind of inconvenience for the root development, I really advise to make a mix from the 2 or 3 types of the substrate material, to avoid any kind of mistakes with especially with the pH and EC. And what kind of the germination conditions should be created to get a nice germination rate? One is a temperature. Temperature in the germination chamber or in the soil should be quite rather high, and this is good. This is good news because in many locations in Southeast Asia we have the condition with a high temperature. So even the 24 and a half or 25 degrees is okay for the echinacea. And substrate pH rate and the water pH rate should be 5.8, 6.2. It's also good news because quite high level of substrate is mostly the common situation in the water. So that's why if you have the quite high pH in the water, you not need too much acid to mitigate this high level of the pH. And of course, I really advise to apply the peat or substrate mixture, not loaded too much with the fertilizer. So 0.5 millisiemens, it is okay. You see 0.5 millisiemens. Before you will start to mix the substrate mixture for the sowing, please try to measure, or please measure EC and pH in the substrate. And of course, germination time will not take too long time. It's less than 1 week, or sometimes it can be extended up to 1 week, especially in the situation when the temperature is quite low. So here you can see the very perfect germination. It's here in the picture you can find something like 80% of the sown seeds here. Why I telling about the very nice germination here? Because the natural germination rate, and please keep in mind that natural germination rate in the Echinacea it's only 60%. So if you receive even higher, it means or you mistaken with the crop, or you very nice and very high level grower, and you're able to receive the higher germination with the Echinacea. And of course, so that's why I really recommend to use at least 2 seeds per cell to create a nice plant and to compensate the low germination rate in the Echinacea. And what's about the seedling pressure? What kind of condition we have to provide to gerbera, to Echinacea to create a nice plant and nice shaped young plants. First one, of course, is temperature. Temperature requires quite low, so that's why I indicated here. Keep your young plants in the more cold condition and avoid the saturation. Of course, the night temperature can be even lower, and so that's why Echinacea it's very nice crop for the northern part of the country. So for the northern part of India, northern part of Pakistan, northern part of Vietnam, and other countries. And so this kind of crop is very applicable and very nice to apply it in the highland area also with the cold condition, especially in the spring part of the year. And of course, in Australia and New Zealand, it can be applied in the summer. I mean, in the Australian winter, in June, July. In May, April, May, it can be sown. And if the seedlings development will match the April and May, this crop really applicable for the Australian climate as well. And let's talk about the light intensity. Light intensity shouldn't be not so high. It's about 30 kilolux, and can indicate it like semi shade or light shade, and and substrate level should be between the 2, 4, and 3. Please also try to avoid oversaturation of the substrate on the seedling stage. And fertigation tip, of course, try to feed Echinacea as well as possible. Don't never apply clean water. Why? Because in the seedling stage, Echinacea, to create a nice plant shape, requires quite high concentration of the fertilizer. Here you can see already in a seedling stage, and this is unique situation because Echinacea in the seedling stage requires a higher concentration of the fertilizer than in a ready stage. So here you can see 125 already should be provided by the NPK rate like 18,518 with a low phosphorus. And with this type of fertilizer, normally it must be added to the water like 0.7 or up to 1.2 gram per liter. So with the NPK rate, with the fertilizer, with the NPK rate 18,518 or 15,315 or 15,515, the concentration should be about 0.8, for instance. And optimal EC in the water must be indicated between 1.5 up to 2. And the optimal EC in the substrate should be 0.9, 1.3. Please don't forget to measure pH and EC before you apply the water to the plants and after you apply in the substrate to check how plant accepted the all mineral elements from the water in solution. And start to fertigate since the second week, since the plant develop a first leaf, and never apply again clean water because clean water bring the few problem in Echinacea and postpone the plant development. And of course, substrate and pH in the water should be in the rate 5.8, 6.2 again. And of course, it's related, EC related to media substrate media extract. And here I would like to show you how look like a hungry plant. Hungry plant looks a little bit yellowish. So here you can see the few plants has a little bit yellow color leaf. If you find this kind of plant, it means you need to increase the pH. But to avoid any kind of mistakes, please check EC in the substrate. And here you can see the color of the healthy plants. It's a bit younger plants, but here you can see the color that should be with the plant. And let's start to talk about how to create a good habit, because this is a critical and crucial thing for the Echinacea. And to provide a good vegetative group, you have to follow up the few application. As I said previously, I really recommend to apply 3, even 4 seeds per per one plug of a tray to create faster the nice clamp of the plants. But if you would like to use only 1 or 2 seeds per tray, you're able to receive the nice plants, but you need to extend the plant growth and you need to grow that plants 2 or 3 weeks more. And one physiological property of the Echinacea. Echinacea really sensitive to day length. Is a long day crop. It means plants start to form flower bud in the long day condition. So since you provide to your plants long day condition, it start to form the flower stalks. Even if the plant not developed well the leaves. So it means plant will look like one stem with a flower without leaf in the base. So it really not looks nice. To create a nice plant and to create a bushy plant, there are few topics. first topic is not apply a long day condition, provide a short day condition, or choose the time, a proper time to create a young plants to sow the seeds uh, in the beginning of the year, in the winter, to create nice plants to the summer. With a short day condition, you will avoid unexpected flower bud formation. And so, of course, this is recommendation is really crucial. And if you apply moderate temperature, a plant will not start to stretching and will be less sensitive to the long day condition and growing through the winter. Of course, sometimes it is possible if you especially has a quite cold weather in your region, you're able to grow Echinacea through the winter. You can start to sow, for instance, in October or November. Keep young plants in outside condition from the plastic house, in between the plastic house or in the area surrounding plastic house, and keep it for the winter time, for the 2 or 3 months. With a low temperature condition, plant will develop slowly, but it will create more leaves and it will create more buds and plant will be more bushy. So you will save the area inside plastic house, and to the springtime you will create nice plant which very well bulk the very well bulk the plaques and very well feed the plaques. And these plants will be later on applied in the end of February or March as a plant for the transplanting. Or it is possible to apply PGR, but not common one. These kind of PGRs called config. This PGR based on the benzylaminopurin, this kind of plant hormone, which provide new bud formation, which provide additional bud formation. And 300 or 600 ppm by spraying, it is okay to produce nice branching plant. And here you can see the example of the Echinacea produced in the left side. Plant was produced in the uh, control condition, and in the right side you can see plant created with a config application in a 600 ppm. So if this kind of PGR available in your market, I really advise to apply the config in the range between the 300 and 600 ppm, and of course maintain the short day condition and the proper condition to create the young plants until it forms the 7 leaves. Let's start to talk about the transplanting time. So we created nice plants, and how to what is the proper stage. As I said, the 7 leaves is a proper stage. You can calculate here is 8 leaves together with a little yellowish the first one. Here you can already cannot find the cotyledons because cotyledons it's already became brown. But if you calculate, you can find here is already 8 leaves. So 7 leaves is a proper 8 leaves is a proper stage. And the plants to be developed from the sowing time takes about say 7 weeks. And what kind of the pot size can be applied for the Echinacea? Honestly, different type of pot size. It can start it from the 12 centimeters, and even the big and really big containers can be used for the Echinacea final stage. Like you can see that here, the pot filled with the 5 plants of the Echinacea, and later on I will show you the final stage of exactly this pot later on in the next slides, and how to what kind of substrate it is applicable for the Echinacea. Honestly, any type of substrate is applicable, but this type of substrate needs to provide this condition. pH range should be between the 5.8 up to 6.2, hygienic condition, and it should be aerated enough. So please don't forget to apply an inert agent like perlite or sand or ceolite, and of course not forget to use a mixture between the different type of substrate to avoid any kind of unexpected difficulties or unexpected mistakes. And particle size already should be a bit bigger, up to 2 centimeters. Of course, it will create more porous condition, more aerated condition for the roots, not compress substrate too much, and you can apply as a leavening agent. Of course, the cocoa peat chips. So it means big particle of cocoa peat chips will provide also good aeration for the roots. And of course, don't forget, I really like to advise and I really like to recall about the biological protection. A biological protection will help you to avoid many kind of problems. And how to transplant? Another thing, this is a clone plant. Don't forget that. And today we will talk about this type of condition 2 times for the digitalis as well, because digitalis is also clone plant. This is the correct way how to transplant. So substrate level should be in the level in the pot or in the container, in a final container. It should be in the same level like the substrate level in the plug. So here you can see the level is the position is too deep, and in this position is too high. Uh, so what will happen here in the pictures? In this picture, you can find how plant will look like and how plant will develop and what will happen with a plant if you keep growing too deep. If you bury the grown into the substrate. I mean, the plant seeps into the substrate. You see, plant will slowing down, and plant will be less developed, and of course, it will injured, of course, by the fungal diseases time to time. So that's why try to avoid to keep plant too deep in the substrate. And of course, if you keep too high position, it will be not sustainable. So the root will be in the air. And the plant, of course, also will slow down in the development. And what kind of pot size? Here you can find the information how many plants you need to apply for different recommended pot size. It is possible to apply 1 liter pot size. It's like about 13, 15 centimeters up to the 8 liters, big containers like 8 liters. And different plant size need to be applied like 1 or 2 plants per pot. An abbreviation PPP, it means plants per pot, can be applied in 1 liter container up to the 4 plants. And you also seen the even 5 plants can be applied for the 35 centimeter containers, for the 10-liter containers. And let's start to talk about the condition, general condition. What kind of treatment you need to apply for the plant. Of course, the temperature already should be higher, because in this stage, Echinacea normally in the nature facing the highest temperature, and the temperature can be reach up to 26 centimeters, but not only. In the nighttime, it is better to provide a colder condition for the Echinacea, because Echinacea is a native for the southern part of the North America, is a prairie plant. In there, normally in the desert and in the prairie, rather high difference between day and night condition. And of course, day and night condition difference will provide a more compact and more branchy plant. Light intensity already should be quite high or even natural. So 60 kilolux is applicable for the Echinacea at this time. So I made full sun can be comfortable for Echinacea. And substrate moisture should be alternate between 2 and 3 moisture level. And of course, temperature can be even higher. So here I indicated, so optimal temperature can be reached up to 28 degrees. So please keep in mind, if you in your place time to time has a 28 or even 30 degrees is absolutely okay. Of course, plant will little bit slow down in the development, but this temperature is applicable for the echinacea. And what's the Echinacea fertigation tip? As I said, it is interesting thing, and this is unusual thing for other plants. In the ready plants, Echinacea requires less fertilizer than in a plug stage. Here you can see it's necessary to provide only 75 up to 125 ppm of nitrogen, and of course don't apply too much phosphorus. And this quantity of nitrogen can be provided with NPK in the rate about 7 or 0.7, or it may to say 700 milligrams or zero point 0.7 grams, or up to 1 gram per liter by the NPK. And of course, the give the fertilizer, provide the fertilizer with every watering. Never apply clean water. Forget it for the echinacea at least. So it's the same situation like with the gerbera. If you would like to create a nice plant, the high value plant, you will be able to sell with a good profit. Please provide fertilizer with every watering. And of course, to control how plant uptake this fertilizer, don't forget to measure you see in the substrate. So in the substrate, it should be 1.5 up to 2.1. So high salt concentration, it is okay for gerbera. And since the flower bud start to appear, since you provide long day condition, of course, in this stage, you able to provide natural long day condition. And in this condition, plant will start to form the flower stalks. And the NPK rich in this case should be changed since the flower buds start to appear in the top of the plants. I recommend to increase potassium level up to 40 percent in the mixture NPK mixture. So applicable NPK rate in this case should be 18,530 or 15,530. So rate between nitrogen and potassium should be like 1 till 2. So it means that 15 till 30, it means 1 till 2. And here you can see the pretty splendor that I already displayed this pot in the previous slides. It is the plants there were developed well, and it formed in the broad of plants in the one our customer in Bimtal location. And of course, don't forget to maintain proper pH range between 5.8 up to 6.2. And of course, don't forget about calcium and magnesium, because normally NPK mixture, commercial available mixture, lack of the calcium and magnesium, or even doesn't normally it doesn't contain, sorry, they don't contain calcium in the mixture. So and now we come into the final topic, the most critical topic of the Echinacea is diseases management. And especially today I will talk about the powdery mildew, because powdery mildew is a sensitive disease. I mean, the Echinacea is sensitive to the powdery mildew. There are not too many different type of the chemicals active, really active against the powdery mildew. It is azoxystrobin, this common one, common chemical which can protect the plants from the powdery mildew, and penconazole. It also can be applied against the powdery mildew. But as I always, as I said formerly many times already, the plant protection is not only the chemical protection. So the proper and good condition provided to the plants is your best tool to provide a healthy situation in your plastic house. So to avoid any kind of problem in the future with the powdery mildew, never try to avoid the dripping of the condensated water from the roof or from the rooftops. And of course, keep the avoid the plant drying out, because plant which came plant that came to situation when it's dry out and it wilted a bit, it's more sensitive to powdery mildew. This is interesting thing that not many growers know about this feature. Since the plant receive a deficiency of the water, it start to be more sensitive to powdery mildew. So the cells wall in this situation becomes more sensitive to the growing to the germinating spores of the powdery mildew. And of course, and you can find in the nature this situation in the powdery mildew coming in the situation when the temperature quite high and the plant gets deficiency of the water, and the temperature is alternating between day and night too much. So when the plant dry out in the daytime and receive the water in the surface of the leaf, since that time it's really sensitive. It becomes really sensitive. These plants becomes sensitive to the powdery mildew. So try avoid drying out of the plant, and of course don't forget to check phytotoxicity before you start to apply especially new chemicals for the plant, and rotate the active ingredient during the application. And last one slide concerning to the echinacea is example of entire crop requirements during the vegetation time, from the sowing condition, from the first week up to the latest thing, up to the blooming stage. In this table, you can use it as a how to say, the reference table. You can check what kind of condition should be applied for the each week. And here you can see the really interesting specific for the echinacea. In the young plant, it requires the little bit higher water you see than in the ready plant. So you can see it can be reached up to the 2 millisiemens. And of course, don't forget to apply at least one time per 2 weeks, calcium and magnesium nitrate. The best form of the calcium and magnesium, it's of course calcium and magnesium nitrate. Of course, sometimes it's possible to change the magnesium nitrate on magnesium sulfate, but for the echinacea, the best form of the magnesium is magnesium nitrate. And of course, here you can find the time of the config application and the Bonzi application if you need to apply the Bonzi for the tall variety like Prairie Splendor. And let's start to talk about the Digitalis. In our assortment, this is another interesting crop in our assortment. We have 2 series of the Digitalis. One is taller one is a Camelot, and the second one is a Doti. Both of varieties is really attractive, but it has a little bit difference in the application. As I said formerly, Camelot is a taller plant, is a robust plant, so it's very nice to create a large landscaping pictures, large landscaping areas. And the Doti is applicable even for the pot production, as a attractive pot plants for sales in retail. So here you can see the difference in the height is really sensitive. Camelot able to reach up 100 centimeters, and the Doti is a little bit more compact. It reach up only up to 60 centimeters. It's visibly shorter than Camelot. And in the Syngenta catalog, you can find in page 181 information about the Camelot. And in the Floranova catalog, in the page 74, by this QR code, you can reach out catalog and the page with a Doti. And how it looks like. Camelot, it's really difficult to keep the picture of the separate plant a separate plant in the pot. So that's why I prefer to keep here the wall created by the Camelot in the garden, because it's really tall plant. And in this series, we have 4 colors and 1 mix. And in the Doti, we have 5 separate colors. Here I would like to able to display a separate plant in the beginning of the blooming. And later on, by the way, in my background, you can find a Doti peach. with a this is one of my favorite picture with a bee in with that coming into the flower, and this how the plant looks like in the that picture I take in the Thailand. And the camelot is interesting series not only for the landscaping. Here you can see the cut flower application of the camelot, because camelot it's really tall plant. It's a really interesting crop to enlarge your cut flower assortment. So if you would like to offer to your customer, to your end consumer, some kind of the interesting plant, some kind of a new plant, you can apply the camelot. And in the page 22, in the cut flower catalog, you can find the information about the camelot. And of course, I promise to show you a very fantastic landscape picture. And here you can see how looks like camelot series in the landscaping. So you can see it's very easy to create very large and very beautiful landscape by this crop. And what kind of the top five of recommendations should be followed up to create a nice plants like you can find, you can see in the picture. One, light is required for germination. This is really critical thing. 1 to seeds recommended to keep into the one cell. Keep the plant out of heat in the beginning, in the young plant stage. This is again the crown plant, so that's why I would like to join all together Echinacea and the Digitalis, and try to avoid the condition which provides botrytis development on the plants. And of course, don't forget to again visit our APAC video channel. And let's start to talk about the germination rate. During the germination rate, it is okay to apply the same cell size, I mean trace with the same cell size. 288 cells trace is absolutely okay for the Digitalis. And seeds needs to be kept like 1 or 2 seeds per trace. It's not really strong recommendation, not really urgent or strong recommendation, but it will help to get a more bushy plants if you would like to create a multi-stems plants, especially for the camelot. Doti is more branching variety, series, so that's why it doesn't require to keep 2 seeds. But for the camelot, it's better to apply the 2 seeds per the pack. Is it necessary to cover a plant? No, not necessary, because camelot and doti requires the light for the germination. This is a really critical thing. As for gerbera, if you cover the gerbera, you receive just only 50% of germination. The same thing you can find in the digitalis. And there are also different crop which also sensitive to the light condition in the germination stage, like a viola. Viola also requires a light for the germination, but it at the same time requires a slight the light seed cover for the seeds, because the seeds quite rather small and sensitive to drying out. And of course, if you apply germination chamber, don't forget to create the specific light tools inside the germination chamber to provide light for the germinating seeds. And what kind of substrate? Here we are happy. Doti accept any kind of substrate, even the composts. So these plants not really sensitive to the any kind of root diseases. It's sensitive to the botrytis only, and botrytis mostly coming when the plants completely developed and the too big mass of leaves create the dark and humid condition to the spores development of the botrytis. But in the beginning, it's not really sensitive to most of the fungal diseases, even with a low temperature condition. And of course, don't forget to apply the perlite scent or the xylite as a agent who able to create more aerated condition. And the same recommendation as for the echinacea, not provide too high concentration of the water in the substrate. Don't provide a saturated condition for the substrate. What's kind of condition should be provided. Other conditions should be provided to get a good germination is a soil temperature. It is average. I may to say the temperature is 20-21 is absolutely applicable for this crop. Substrate and water pH should be the same as for the Echinacea, 5.8, 6.2. Low EC in the substrate in this stage is absolutely okay. And the germination time takes only about half a week, 3-4 days. The doti is in camelot is very easily to germinate, and germination rate in this crop already higher, 85%. So that's why in general I not recommend to apply the 2 seeds for the doti, but for the camelot it's better to apply the 2 seeds only because of the branching habit. And seedling production requires temperature in the daytime 80 till 20 degrees. It should be kept a little bit colder than Echinacea. So Digitalis is good crop to start it a bit early in the winter time, and especially it's good crop for the northern part. Of course, the Digitalis is not really nice crop for the lowland, so that's why I really advise to apply this crop in the highland, like Chiang Mai in Thailand, like Nepal. Nepal is a really nice country to create nice landscaping project with the Digitalis. Northern part of India is really nice place to apply the Digitalis, especially as a perennial crop, because please keep in mind that Digitalis is perennial crop. You can plant it one time and enjoy it for the through the years in your garden, in your private garden. And the night is should be even colder, 16-17 degrees, and the light should be a little bit I may to say the mid-level intensive, like 30, 35 degree, 35 kilolux, and try to avoid too high humidity for the young plants. Digitalis doesn't require to get too much fertilizer, so 71-100 ppm of nitrogen is absolutely okay. So half of gram or up to 1 gram of NPK is absolutely normal for the Digitalis. Optimal EC in the water should be 1.5 up to 2. So it's in general the medium level of the EC, and the in the substrate it should be 0.9 till 1.3. And of course, try to avoid apply the clean water, because Digitalis very easily to uptake the water if there are not many, there is not too high concentration of the salts in the water provided by you. And the substrate in the water, substrate pH and in the water should be 5.8, 6.2. And what's the time for transplanting? You already create a nice plant. It takes not so long time. It takes something about up to from 4 up to 6 weeks only. And what's a proper stage? The proper stage can be different between 4 and 5 leaves. Even up to the 6 leaves, you can keep in the same plug up to the 6 leaves. And this stage is absolutely okay to transplant in the final containers. And as I said, young plant takes only about 4. It's not so long as for Echinacea. It takes about only 4-5 weeks. And what kind of pot is applicable for the Digitalis? For the Digitalis, it's absolutely okay to use the 1.5 up to 8, even up to 10 liter of pots. And of course, provide a good space. Later on, I will talk about this feature when we start to talk about the plant protection. And don't bury the crown below the substrate. Don't keep the 2D. Don't keep the root ball of the young plants of the Digitalis too low, too deep. And of course, any kind of substrate, as I said formerly, okay, if they provide this kind of condition. So pH is critical, 5.8 up to 6.2, not too low. And of course, don't forget to use the mix of the substrate. If you're not really confident about the separate substrate quality, it's better to apply the mix to avoid any kind of mistakes, and particles should be higher. And it is also possible to use the different agents to make good porousness in the substrate and biological protection. Please don't forget about that. And the general condition for the final plant production, day temperature already should be higher, and the night temperature should be also higher, like 18 till 90 degrees. Light condition already can be increased up to the natural, so provide a little slight shading for the plants. But if you already transplant the plants for the landscaping, of course it should be provided with a natural light. And the moisture conditions should be uh, differ between the 2 and 4 level of the substrate moisture. And of course, plant of Digitalis is in the final stage. It's not really sensitive to high temperature. So temperature above 25 and even 26 degrees is absolutely okay. Plant little bit slow down with that condition, and little bit it will be little bit shorter. But anyway, the plant will receive the nice shape, nice flower colors, nice flower condition quantity. And of course, here you can see the example of the plant developed in the temperature above 25 degrees. This picture was taken in the Vietnam. Um, and here you can see the dotty mix in Vietnam. And here you can see the watering application by drippers. In this stage, plant requires even the higher concentration, 100 up to 122 ppm. It can be provided by the about 1 gram per liter of the NPK. Of course, don't forget to apply at least one time per 2 weeks of calcium and magnesium for the plant instead of NPK. And the water you see should be 1.4. It's average 1.5, 1.7. And the optimal EC in the substrate 0.9 up to 1.3. And since the plants start to show the flower stacks, change the NPK to the generative with a higher concentration of potassium. And of course, don't forget to check time to time, at least one time per 2 weeks, pH range. And let's start to talk about the diseases which can faced on the which can found on the Digitalis. Downy mildew. This is a less common than botrytis. Botrytis is more dangerous disease for the Digitalis, because Digitalis form a lot of leaves, big mass of leaves, and this mass of leaves in between of them creates very nice condition to the spores development. So that's why the please don't forget to check and to scout your Digitalis to find in the time any kind of the things of the botrytis, any kind of damaged plants, any kind of spots on the leaves, and what kind of the condition should be provided. Not only chemicals, because the chemicals you will provide only when you can find any kind of things of diseases. So to avoid disease appearance, I mean the fungi appearance on your plants, provide a good condition for that. And this is the best tool, even the best tool than the chemicals. So provide the spacing and the good ventilation, and avoid the high humidity, high air humidity. So the ventilation is the best tool to the reach out this kind of condition, aerated and rather dry condition in the air. And of course, when you apply the chemicals, don't forget to check phytotoxicity and to rotate the active ingredient. And here you can find, this is gift again, you can find the entire scheduling, sorry, how to grow the plants from the sowing stage up to the ready stage. Here you can see the dotty as the same as the Echinacea, takes quite long time to germinate, but this is very unique crop. And here you can see example to produce how to produce plants in the landscaping with a proper spacing 35 by 35 centimeters. Here you can see the different pH, the pH range, other different conditions like NPK recommendation and recommendation of the PGRs on this crop. Here I would like to stop to explain. We exactly match 1 hour. So So sorry for little long explanation. And here I would like to stop with my application. And of course, please don't forget to apply calcium and magnesium. And Renata, please, can you check the Q&A box? Do we have some questions?
Checking now. Don't see any questions at the moment. If questions will pop up later today, you can also send us an email. Send an email directly to Ivan if you have a very technical question, or a general one can be sent to our other representatives, or our general email that's also in the emails that you got from us. The next webinar will be on the 3rd of December. We'll be covering ranunculus. And thank you all for joining this webinar, and I wish you all the best of luck with your production.
Thank you, Renata. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
And see you
Ivan.
next webinar. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.